Please give it up for Tobias from Soundcloud.
That work? Nope. Well, then without, welcome. Yeah, my name is Tobias Schmidt. I work at Soundcloud and with the Prometheus team. So maybe let's start with a question. Who knows Prometheus or has heard of it? Wow, that's awesome. Okay, who uses Prometheus actually? Okay, only a few. And who uses Prometheus with Grafana? Yeah, okay, all of you. Okay, that's great. So this talk will mostly be about Prometheus and our dashboard solution we use right now, which is PromDash, but Grafana is there, and that talk is mostly about like what we would like to do to switch and make Grafana the primary dashboard builder for the Prometheus project. So Prometheus got built or started like 2 years ago, yeah, end of 2012. Matt Proud and Julius Waltz, to like now ex-SoundClouders and then ex-Googlers, came to SoundCloud and realized, well, there is really something missing in the open source space, which is a monitoring tool which they were used to from Google. And they started to build Prometheus. And the main features of Prometheus are its label system. So it's an open source service monitoring system and time series database. You all know this. We all use time series databases with Grafana. And yeah, the features of Prometheus are its multi-dimensional data model. It's similar to the M3 project Matt showed earlier, or also OpenTSDB. It has we hope, pretty flexible query language we call PromQL now. I will show later in a bit. And there were a few things we really wanted to make sure with Prometheus. Is like one, it should be as simple as possible operationally wise. So it's written in Go, it's a single binary, and you really put like this binary somewhere. You need disk storage, so you need to be able to write to a disk to like put your data and your metrics somewhere, but beside that there are no other external dependencies. There is no HBase required like in OpenTSDB. If something goes wrong, that it's really only this single binary, which is also our high availability model we got away with so far. It's just like, okay, if it's so simple to put like up one of these binaries, then just like put up two, and if like one fails, you still have like another server which is running. But both of them are completely independent from each other. So both, you configure them in the same way probably to like make sure that you scrape the same metrics, but if one fails, you still have like the other one which is running. So the emphasis was really to make sure if there's an outage and if everything breaks down, okay, if your network breaks down, of course, then there is no really way around it. But beside that, there shouldn't be anything getting in between you getting metrics about your systems and understanding what is actually going on. There's another one, big debated feature of Prometheus. It's also using the pull model, as similar to what M3 is doing. Similar ideas, but also Matt said already. We really want to make sure that we know if we can't scrape something. So if someone pushes the data somewhere, and the data doesn't end up at your place, there's so many possibilities why that's the case. These days there are like great service discovery solutions available, like etcd or Console. So you can like use service discovery to like discover all the targets you have, and you know if you can't scrape some or if there are too few metrics or whatever. So the server knows about them. It of course also has like some bad or like some difficult parts. So it's easy for like a company like at SoundCloud size where we have like an internal network. But it gets more complicated if you like only have like 3 servers which are exposed directly on the internet, because then you need like to come up with like some way to secure these endpoints which expose the metrics. But yeah, for SoundCloud, and Prometheus was mainly built for SoundCloud, this is not a problem because everything is internally anyway. And we have like some documentation around to like how to put up a reverse proxy in front of it to secure these endpoints then. We have like lots of client libraries available. It is written in Go, so Go is the primary client library. There's also Java, Python, Ruby. People submitted now Haskell, There's a client library written in Bash for people who do all their stuff in Bash. Node.js, Picket, and we have for the most common languages, we have like a client library right now, which is then supposed to, for you to integrate in your service and expose the metrics with it and make it as easy as possible for you to expose the metrics. We have like an ever-growing amount of exporters, which are used for services which don't have like native Prometheus metric support, like Nginx or Apache or MySQL. So there is like then a standalone exporter running usually right next to your software you want to monitor. And this exporter will then scrape or like will get the metrics however it's exposed from the service you want to get metrics from, and then it will turn it into Prometheus metrics, and which can then be scraped by the server. And the point I'm talking about today mostly is the graphing solution. So right now we have like three ways to like see what data you actually got, and yeah, we'll show them in a second. That's a basic overview of the Prometheus ecosystem. So in the middle, you see the Prometheus server, which is really the heart of everything. And then again, as I said, it's really just one binary you put like somewhere, and there's a config file you need to put out as always, and you run it. That server stores everything on the disk. So right now we only have disk storage on your system, so you're a bit limited by the disk size you have. Again, Prometheus and Soundcloud's view of it are like pretty narrowed. We have like a single problem we want to solve, which is like getting infrastructure data about all our software and our services. It's not so much meant to like store your business data over like 5 years. If you have like this use case, Prometheus is likely not what you want. But as long as you only want to like monitor your services and your service infrastructure, most these days should like be able to store your data for like weeks to months, depending on like how many targets you scrape and how much data you put in there. So that works for us really well. And then the server uses service discovery. By now we have like lots of contributions from the open source world. DNS Kubernetes is like now built in. We have like recently got native EC2 discovery of like all your EC2 nodes which running on EC2. And so it's using one of the service discovery possibilities, or you just like hard code your targets and scrapes them. So these targets are like your services you're running, and gets the metrics from them over an HTTP port, and like takes HTTP and then uses either text file or protobufs, whatever it's supported by your target, and retrieves these metrics. It can also, we have like a relatively recent feature of like having federation, so you can also like build trees of Prometheus servers, where like one Prometheus server scrapes another Prometheus server. You might ask why that's useful. It's useful, for example, to there's some metrics you like really want to know of like all from all your regions or your zones. So you have like one global server which scrapes all these other servers, probably only selects a few metrics from these, but you have like then a single server with all the metrics available from all your different regions. And yeah, there are endless other possibilities. For example, you can also use this as a Pullman's way to like have some way of store data longer than necessary, longer than the main Prometheus server. So the main Prometheus server might scrape your targets like every 5 seconds or every 10 seconds, but then you want to have like some data around in the granularity of like every minute or every 10 minutes. So you can use another Prometheus server which scrapes your others, scrapes the same data but in a lower interval. Yeah, there are lots of ways you can use the federation. There is a need for pushing metrics as well. Say you run a batch job or a batch job or a cron job, and it terminates after 5 seconds. So it might be that the Prometheus server, if the Prometheus server wants to scrape it, it's already gone again. So you have no chance to actually scrape it. So for that, we have the push gateway, where it's really only mostly meant for the short-living jobs, which push their data to the push gateway, and then a server can go to the push gateway and scrape the information. Then we have an alert manager, which is being rewritten right now. We are really interested what the Grafana guys are coming up with, because the screenshots look amazing. None of us really have like good good like front-end skills, so like being able to integrate there would be highly preferred by us. And yeah, there's, as I said, a bunch of different ways how to use these data to present them then on dashboards or somewhere. So the first one is expression browser, which is the most primitive. It's shipped with a binary, so that's if you start your Prometheus server, it will also open an HTTP port, which is usually 9090. You go there and you see like this interface, and you can use it as a basic way to get an idea of like what metrics are available on the server, and can use them to fire up some ad hoc queries if you're like in the middle of an outage and you know that there are some metrics, but they're not on any of the dashboards. So that's usually what you use the expression browser for. And the next one are consoles. These are not really used by Soundcloud, but yeah, some open source contributions added them to the Prometheus project. It's also, so they are also served by the Prometheus server itself, but you have to write basically the HTML on your own. So you go there, put like some HTML files template there, which are then parsed by the Prometheus server, and then you can put out like these HTML tables there on the right, or like some basic graphs. Yeah, it's an alternative way. I can't really say too much about it because we at Soundcloud don't use it, because we started to build our own dashboard editor or builder. I think we started 2 years ago in 2013, which is called PromDash. That's how it looks like right now. That's actually a screenshot from Soundcloud's data. Yeah, it's similar to Grafana, of course. So you have like some dashboards and you have the data. I will show some examples later. So when we started PromDash, Grafana was not around, I'm pretty sure. Grafana only got started internally like a couple of months later. So we didn't really want to build something on our own, but we couldn't really find a dashboard editor we could use. So we started PromDash. And yeah, it's a GUI to build a dashboard. It's really similar to Grafana in the end. It is written, and the backend is written in Rails because Rails was cool back in the days. And it has a MySQL backend, which is actually not true. So it also has like, because Rails supports all different kinds of backends, you can also use Postgres or SQLite or whatever. And the dashboards are just saved as JSON blobs, which is I think also exactly the same in Grafana in the database. As frontend we use, or like for the, most of the stuff is really in JavaScript, which is an Angular application built on Rickshaw from Shutterstock. Unfortunately, they decided to completely abandon Rickshaw. It hasn't seen any update for like a year, I think, which is one of the main reasons we are a bit stuck with PromDash, and we would like to switch to something way more awesome like Grafana. So to give you an idea of like what PromDash is right now, and like maybe to some inspiration, or just like, okay, really we shouldn't do it like that. That's, yeah, a very basic. I didn't want to show you SoundCloud data, I guess I shouldn't. And we at SoundCloud, so the first thing you might notice, so they're like directories. What are directories? So at SoundCloud, I think by now we have like several hundreds of dashboards, probably like in the range of 500 to 600 dashboards. In the beginning, we had like one list, and then we were like, okay, that really doesn't work. We need at least some way to group them. So we have directories. I think there is no thing really in Grafana which comes to this, so you can tag them, but we would need something, I guess, for SoundCloud to switch to Grafana. We would need something for each team, ideally, to have like on their homepage their dashboards in one group. And like, I mean, probably we could use the tagging system or the search system already, just like have like the availability to like put a box there with all the dashboards related to your team. Yeah, here it's like a bit useless, it's only one. And yeah, to show it, it's like really basic data from like a demo server. So one thing PromDash can't do is like having flexible rows, so we can change the size of the column, so we can like put like 4 in a way, but they're always the same size in all the columns. So they're like one thing we already laugh a lot about Grafana. Change it back. One thing of PromDash we were always really eager to do was to make it as quick as possible to create a dashboard, which might be a bit different angle now. I mean, actually, you only create a dashboard maybe 10% of the time, and 90% of the time you look at them. But our emphasis was really to make it as fast as possible. So you're always in an edit mode, and you always have like all these options available to change the metrics, to set different time options. It is also available in Grafana. So basically, in the beginning, I thought there were like huge differences between Grafana and PromDash. They're actually not. I only found like 2 or 3. So yeah, that's in the workflows. You need a bit less clicks around, but then we can't really switch between dashboards that fast, really fast. That's a big problem in PromDash. And yeah, I guess I'm running out of time. So I will, this demo, I could make available this demo as well. Yeah, most of the stuff is now these days available in Grafana as well. And I have to give one huge shout out to Jimmy Dyson, who added most of the, or contributed most of this to make it possible to have native Prometheus support in Grafana. I asked him for a testimonial I could put up here. He said like, well, I'm really not good at this. Please don't put this up. I did it anyway. So yeah, thanks to Jimmy Dyson, we didn't really need to do a lot of stuff for this. And the meat of the talk, I guess, is like the comparison between PromDash and Grafana. I thought this will be a way longer talk. In the end, I had to realize Grafana has by now all the features we like added carefully to PromDash over the time, and it was a bit boring to do this comparison. So one thing which is not possible in Grafana is with Prometheus, you will likely have lots of servers in the end because you scale and have like high availability by just putting up a new server on a new system. So for example, at Soundcloud, we have like basically every team has their own Prometheus servers. And then if you operate on multiple regions, you will have like a different server in every single region, which in the end, if you distribute your services also equally over regions, you have like, they are scraping the exact same information, just like on, or for different services or like different slices of your hardware running. So what we would need in Grafana would be a way to, the same dashboard, would be a way to select different metric sources in as like one of these template variables to switch between the servers. So you can like switch different labels inside of metrics, or you can switch between the labels, but you can't, at the moment, at least to my knowledge, you can't really say like, hey, I want to use the service, the server in the region US East, and now I want to look at the same data, the same dashboard, but from US West. So that's like one of the things we have like in PromDash, but this is not available in Prometheus. Then as InfluxDB or M3 or all these label systems, we have, actually I never showed one of these examples. There are like lots of labels we have here, and you want to format these labels, because if you, in the Grafana demo, I can make this big, I think. Okay, it's really small, but you see the different labels for the different series we have, and there might be, for example, server names. And then at SoundCloud, all of our server names at the end have like the same suffix. So you want to remove the suffix from all these legends, otherwise your legends get like really large. So we have like a way to like use a regex, or also have like some pre-built filters of like, hey, use this host name, but only give me the very first part, because that's already unique to all of my legends. So like that's a feature we have like in PromDash, and something I couldn't find in Grafana. It's a bit easier to move around in time. So what I couldn't find in, so for example, I'm looking at this hour, and now I want to look at the, 30 minutes, that's fine. I mean, you can do this with Grafana as well, but now I want to go like, see the hour before, or see the hour before. For us, that's like something we do a lot, to like compare something or like quickly go back. With Grafana, at least, I mean, maybe I was dumb, but it took me like lots of clicks to do this. So like they're like the pre-built ranges in Grafana are nice. I mean, we don't have this in PromDash, but being able to like quickly move forward and back is something we missed so far, and which is also available in New Relic, I think. Yeah, we have, so in the beginning, our way to like integrate graphite data in Prometheus and PromDash was to use an iframe and to just like embed the graphite things, metrics directly, or the metric graphs. And then at some point, by now we also have like native graphite support on PromDash. But we still have like a lot of needs for like iframe support, for example, to show on dashboards the state of all your Jenkins jobs. And people style their own HTML. They just want to have like a nice way to put them up there. It's possible. There is like the HTML support in Grafana, but like something where you just like enter the URL and Grafana will always take care of like resizing the iframe correctly would be something we would like, but it's possible. Yeah, and for us, we are still switching over. There's a feeling of like some workflows are faster, so you need like less clicks around. Others take longer than in Grafana. I guess, I mean, that's a really subjective thing. Probably we can also get used to it because in the end of the day, you don't create new dashboards that often. But yeah, I have some ideas we could like maybe talk afterwards. There's a lot of stuff Grafana does better. I don't think I have more time. So we really want to switch. So there's a suggested roadmap that's mostly mine because I can't really speak for the whole Prometheus open source community. So what we really need is like the metric source templating, so to switch between our servers. But that's like, I think, a really minor thing. Probably we could also find some in Soundcloud who can do this. Then, of course, writing a Grafana exporter for the PromDash data. There's one, I mean, I couldn't really find the documentation about the JSON you expect there. So like if you maybe could define like what to put up there, I'm happy to write the exporter and like write all our JSON over to Grafana. Then at SoundCloud with our, I don't know, 50 servers in Prometheus servers and I don't know, hundreds of dashboards, we will probably start the migration and like see how it goes for us, what it's missing. You will probably get a tons of more little issues. And yeah, eventually we would love to switch over and like say Grafana is the only dashboard builder for the Prometheus community. Yeah, that's basically what I wanted to talk about. Thank you. Yeah, any questions? Yes.
So you mentioned something that's actually really, really relevant to my own company too, with the ability to have different servers, like one for keeping metrics for every single data center.
Yep.
And you noted that Grafana doesn't have the ability right now to switch between data centers. I was curious because you also mentioned that Prometheus has like federation, where
yep.
it's data center aware. Are you able to say like point a central Grafana server at the Prometheus
yes.
federation?
So if we were using, so to be honest, SoundCloud, if we pulled up the federation feature, we don't really use it that much at SoundCloud itself. It would be already these days possible to use a federation to scrape all these metrics into this one server, then the source where it came from, like let's say region would become a label. And then this would already be possible these days with Grafana to switch like for all different values for the label region and then have like one dashboard and switch between. So that's already possible, that's true. But yeah, for one, we don't really use federation that much so far. And it would like, if then this single server goes down, you have like a bigger problem. So we really would like continue to like go to each individual server. But yes, there is a workaround already these days for this problem. Any other question?
You scale that whole model?
So basically what I said in the beginning, we have like per team servers. And then if you realize, okay, your team owns, let's say 10 services and you realize, okay, my one of these services grows bigger and bigger. So you can like then continue to shard horizontally of like saying, okay, I have like one Prometheus server which only scrapes the single servers. And you have another Prometheus server which continues with the other one, with the other 9. And there's also the possibility to shard vertically, if I haven't like mixed them now, where you use a hash mod, and like say like, okay, the modulo of 5 and you have like 5 servers and you all see the same list of targets of like, say you have like 1,000 servers or services you want to scrape. And then one server only takes like the first 200 and then the next one, the next 200. So they like different ways how you can shard. And then I have to say that makes for us a lot easier to use a pull model than the push model because you need only to reconfigure the server side. And you can just like shoot up a new server where you say like, okay, actually you only scrape only one service or like only one specific endpoint over like these targets, and like the other servers continue somewhere else, or you should put up like some development server on your local machine. So for us, the pool model makes it actually a lot more flexible to decide which server goes where and which server will see which metrics.
So how would that work with Grafana then? So you've got all these localized data sets.
So I can't really show it. I like tried a bit like in Grafana. How it will look like is like you will have. So for SoundCloud, this list would be a lot longer. There are actually some UX problems with like having that many metric sources. So we will, at SoundCloud and PromDash, we have like this list is, yeah, I don't know, I think we have like 50, 60 Prometheus servers these days. And you have like all these different servers, and then it's where it comes for us, we need a way to like template them, because we don't want to like hard code each server in all the dashboards. Cool. Thank you.